Everybody knows that the funniest part about the Florida Triangle is the burping and farting skeletons on haunted ghost ships. Of course, I wouldn't know. I've only been to Florida once, and it was Miami. But oh yeah, if you go to the Florida Triangle, you'll see a bunch of weird shit like zombies, ghosts, registered sex offenders. Florida is a spooky place, all right? You shouldn't go there. But there is one person in the Florida Triangle that deserved to get out of there, and that's who I want to talk about today. We are talking about the Bone Daddy himself, Soul King Brook. Now, pretty much the entirety of Thriller Bark is funny, and that's when we recruited Brook onto the Straw Hats. But just to recap, the Straw Hats go to the Florida Triangle, they meet a skeleton on a haunted ghost ship, and Luffy immediately is like, hey, you want to join our crew? And the skeleton's like, I would, I really would, but you know what? I gotta get my shadow back first. Oh, hey, by the way, you know that big-ass whale you guys met before you entered the Grand Line? Yeah, that's my buddy, and I can't wait to see him again. And Brook's a cool guy, man, so before we get into all the funny shit that he does once he joins the crew, I just want to talk about how funny it must have been from his perspective. It's a sad as shit story if we're looking at Thriller Bark through Brook's perspective. He's just floating on the Florida Triangle for years by himself with no shadow at this point in time, so he can't go anywhere else. And he's just a skeleton with nobody to talk to. It's really, really sad. He's just sitting on this ghost ship, drinking tea and singing sea shanties to himself. Till eventually, of course, he comes across Captain Crackhead and his band of lunatics, and immediately the captain of the lunatics climbs on Brook's ghost ship and he's like, hey, listen, I like your style and I want you to join my crew. And like I said, that kicks off the entire arc. Some of the Straw Hats go on to Thriller Bark to investigate. They immediately get into trouble, which leads to everybody else having to go in after them. A bunch of people's shadows get stolen. A bunch of nonsense happens. Brook is in the middle of all of it, still just trying to get his shadow back so that he can finally just do whatever he wants to do. But to do that, he needs to work with a bunch of crackheads to beat up all the sex offenders in Florida. And of course they do. They make a lot of progress beating up all the weirdos until eventually they make it to the big bad of the arc, Gecko Moira. Or Morio, whatever the hell his name is. He's a big fat bat who takes people's shadows and put them into zombies. Now, the reason this is significant is one of the people that Brook has to fight is a zombie that has his shadow. And the zombie that has his shadow is the legendary samurai Ryuma. So they're beating up all the weirdos in Florida until eventually Brook comes across an undead samurai that has his shadow, his fighting moves, but he's way stronger because the real Ryuma was a legend. He's also got a legendary sword with him. So Brook is getting his ass beat just trying to get his shadow back until finally one of the lunatics steps in and is like, hold up, that's a nice ass sword, I need that. Zoro takes over for Brook and he beats the samurai and everything's Gucci. So that means the last person that they all have to beat is Gecko Moria. They all team up, do their team attacks, and eventually Luffy comes back, blue and buff as hell for some reason. Nobody gets any explanation for that. I don't know if Brook asked after that what the transformation was about, so it'd be fun if he just thinks that Luffy can still do that, and every time they get into a fight, Brook's just like, well, I guess he just doesn't want to use that transformation. That's weird. It feels like we could really use that Thriller Bark transformation, but whatever, that's fine. Anyway, through all of that nonsense, they eventually beat Gecko Moira and all of his sex offender buddies. Everybody gets their shadows back and Brook can finally do whatever he wants. So let's fast forward to the very next arc that these people get themselves into, okay? Let's talk about Sabaody Archipelago, all right? So we get there and it looks like it's just one big amusement park. It looks like the worst thing that they have to worry about is Zoro getting lost. Not that different from every other arc, right? Well, it turns out there's a bunch of slave stuff going on. They've got slaves on the island and they need to protect all their friends. But the funniest thing about Sabaody is when everybody realizes how bad this island is, like what's really going on the island, they're all already separated. Like everybody already went off to do their own thing. So Brook and Chopper are having fun at an amusement park somewhere. Like they're riding rides and just having the time of their lives. Until eventually they get a call like, hey guys, like no, like, you know, Cammy, she's about to be auctioned off at a slave house. We all need to regroup and we need to stop this from happening. So Chopper's freaking out because he wants to save Cammy before something horrible happens. And Brook's like, well, I don't know, have you tried just not fucking worrying about it? Literally tells Chopper, like, there's nothing we can do here. We might as well just sit back and relax until somebody comes to pick us up, baby. So Chopper just immediately listens to him. So now it's just these two idiots just goofing around like people aren't about to be sold off in a slave auction. They're waiting for Usopp and somebody else to come pick them up. So when Usopp finally gets there, Usopp's like, what the What are you two doing? So Usopp has to beat him up a little bit. These lunatics beat each other up a lot, but honestly, it's normally just Luffy. They all normally band together and whoop their captain's ass because, quite frankly, he deserves it. He almost gets them killed a lot. That's why I like this scene so much, because it's like the audacity of them just Hakuna Matata-ing it up. And Brook and Chopper are like, I don't know, man, what if you just relax, baby? I'm pretty sure Brook gave Chopper an edible too. I can't prove that. I like to think in this moment, Brook was like, hey, little guy, you want to be cool? And they either smoked a joint or took an edible, and that's why Usopp arrived and they're just chill as fuck. Let's go ahead and go to the post-time skip era, okay? How about we do that? And the funniest thing about that is while everybody was training, like everybody has their own training arc, and Brook did too, of course, but his training arc was the only one that had a global tour. Brook became an international icon, a musical legend by the name of Soul King, and he traveled the world playing music. And he was making so much money. He was so rich and so famous until one day he heard that his captain was back. And mid-performance, while he was at one of his concerts, he's like, oh yeah, actually, one more thing, I quit. I'm not gonna do this anymore because I actually have to go travel the world with my captain. We're gonna rob a bunch of people, beat up a bunch of dictators, stop some tyranny, probably do a bunch of nonsense along the way, but eventually I'm gonna make him king of the pirates. Okay. Bye. He found everybody back at Sabaody Archipelago. They hopped on the Sunny, and everything else was history. They started their journey in the post-time skip era. But yeah, they do Fishman Island. They do Dressrosa. Well, they do Dressrosa. A bunch of the other Straw Hats. Brook is tied up because he's going over to Zou with Nami, Sanji, and Chopper. And so when they get there, of course, the whole Cake Island shenanigans happen, and Sanji gets kidnapped, yada, yada, yada. In the middle of that, there's this ninja called Raizo, who is from Wano, and the Straw Hats get the idea in their head that if they tell the Minks that they're associated with Wano in any way, they're going to be blamed for the devastation that happens in Zou, because like right before they showed up, this dude named Jack got there and he fucked everybody up. It's real sad. And so they want help from the Minks of Zou, but they don't want to give it away that they are also traveling with basically the crown prince of Wano and Momonosuke and also Kiemon, and they just don't want to give it away like, hey, we are the samurai that they were probably looking for, so the whole reason that your island got messed up is because of us. Ooh, yeah, whoopsie, sorry about that. They don't want to give that away. Of course, this is all the Straw Hats that can keep a secret, which is maybe like 3 of them, to be honest. When Luffy gets there and he's traveling with all of the people from Wano, it becomes a lot harder to hide the fact that they are connected to Wano. So, funniest thing that happens, one of the Minks is like, hey, yeah, weirdest thing, that guy that showed up here and wrecked our entire island, he was looking for somebody from Wano? We don't know anything about that, you know? It's crazy. And Luffy immediately was like, Wano, yeah, that's probably the guy that we're hanging out with. He's with us. He's with us. Damn, so that means your island got wrecked? That must have been our fault the whole time. And the Mink that said that hears this, and she slowly turns around. She's like, what did you say? And before Luffy has the chance to double down, because we all know he was about to double down, he was fully about to be like, I said my name is Monkey D. Luffy, my social security number is this, that, and I came here with the Crown Prince of Wano, and I am the reason that your island got fucked up. I don't know what's so hard for you to understand about that. He was about to say all of that, but right before he did, all you hear is Brook go bone chop. He karate chopped the fuck out of the back of Luffy's head, and then everybody joins in. Brook, Usopp, Nami, they just start beating the fuck out of Luffy. Like I said before, it needs to happen occasionally, okay? Sometimes a good preemptive ass whooping can really stop the nonsense from happening before Luffy can make any dumb decisions. So they whoop his ass. That's the funniest thing that happens in Zou. So let's go on to Whole Cake Island. For me, a bunch of funny stuff happens on Whole Cake Island. Starting at the very beginning, where Brook is undercover. He's a skeleton. Why is he undercover? Like, it's like you put him in like a different costume and it's like, that is a skeleton. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that people are gonna have questions no matter what you put on him. All right. I get literally everybody else. They get a disguise. I understand. Brook, you are a corpse. Okay. You're also famous, by the way. If someone sees a skeleton with an afro, there's not too many people that could be, okay? I'm sorry. They are either cursed or that is Soul King Brook. So that's hilarious. It's always funny whenever Brook tries to go undercover because I'm like, what's the point? Why do you even do that? But a bunch of nonsense, of course, happens in Whole Cake Island. A funny thing that happens is Brook ends up fighting Big Mom and then sleeping with Big Mom. But it was weird though, because it looked like Big Mom, she might have been trying to get Brook to throw her a bone, if you know what I'm saying. She's Big Mom, all right? Back in the day, we all know Big Mom would just walk her tall ass along every island and scoop up every weird dude she could get her hands on, and then take them back to Whole Cake Island so she can make some weird kids and end racism, which it has nothing to do with Brook, but Big Mom is hilarious because she was doing everything she was doing so that she could eventually end racism. And it's like, join a civil rights group. You don't have to, she just started fucking everybody. I just think that's, and more power to her. I'm not shaming her at all. I mean, for God's sake, you get it, Big Mom, you get it. I'm just saying, and you can't tell me that's not what she was doing. Like, she was walking around like, you got long arms, you got long legs. Damn, what would our kid look like? You know what I'm saying? So I know she was looking at Brook like, damn, you are a weird ass skeleton. You wanna come back to my place later? Like, that is... But before we get all carried away with that, we need to talk about today's sponsor, which is Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Both Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. are Japanese snack subscription boxes, and their mission is to help you experience Japan from the comfort of your own living room. They do that by providing you with a variety of fun, unique, and exclusive snacks that are only available in Japan. And this month, the theme for Tokyo Treat is Snack in Wonderland. Enjoy the most wonderful time of the year with snacks like the Double Berry Kit Kats, Merry Melon Bread, Silent Night Salted Butter Truffles, Golden Potato Rings, Fa La La French Salad Chips, and Winter Yuki Soba. And shout out to the Golden Potato Rings for being so damn delicious. And the theme for Sakura Co. is Holidays of Japan. Experience the comforting flavors of Japan's winter time with treats like the matcha mochi, milk chocolate strawberries, pistachio hanky hen, Hokkaido baked strawberry chocolate, and the Aomori senbei, which tastes really good with the tea for this month, the matcha infused sencha. And the tableware item for this month is the Minoware Indigo Plate. And as usual, if you want to learn about the regions you're getting all of these snacks from, or if you need to check out any allergen information for any of the snacks that you'll be eating, then you'll enjoy going through the booklets that come with each box. So if you think this all sounds delicious and you'd like to get a box for yourself or for someone you love, check out the link in the description of this video and use code MUGIWARA to receive $5 off your first Tokyo Treat or Sakura Co. box. A very special thank you to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. for sponsoring this video, and an equally special thank you to you for watching this video. And with that, we are back to the show. Fast forward to what I consider to be the funniest thing in all of Whole Cake Island, maybe, and it's a Brook moment, okay? It's when they're all finally leaving, and Brook and Nami and Chopper, Carrot, everybody's on the ship leaving except for Sanji and Luffy, like they're waiting for them to get back to the Sunny. So everybody's on the Sunny, and they're looking out into the distance, and they see the Armada, Big Mom's Armada closing in on them. They are trying to escape, but they cannot. So everybody's like, what are we gonna do? Oh my God, they're closing in, and Brook is like, hold on, guys. I got this. And Brook walks to the edge of the Sunny. He stares out into the sea and looks at the Armada himself, and he's like, don't worry, guys. I got this. Sumimasen! Can I see your panties? I was dead. I was dead. I was literally dead. And Nami, of course, knocks him out immediately for saying that. And while Brook's on the ground, he's like, damn, mission failed or something. It's so funny to me because it reminds me of the time Patrick and SpongeBob are trapped inside Sandy's house. And he's like, open sesame. Well, I've done all I can do. That is what Brook just did in that moment, and I could not stop laughing. Sumimasen, can I see your panties? Well, I've done all I can do. But they get out of Whole Cake Island, and they finally get to Wano. The funniest thing about Wano is, of course, they all need to go undercover again. And so when Brook gets here, he gets into disguise, and he is, again, a skeleton. The funniest part about Brook's disguise is that there are panties in his afro, and they were undercover, so they needed information sometimes. So I'm imagining Brook sometimes going up to somebody like, hey guys, does anybody know where Kaido keeps those smile fruits, huh? You know, me? Oh, I'm one of the beast pirates, of course. What beast am I? Well, I ate it was a skeleton fruit. Ooh, you're haunted, bitch. Okay, God, just let him through. Tell him whatever he wants. So funny. And continuing in Wano, of course, they do the raid to Onigashima, where Frankie and Brook have a bro moment. Frankie's trying to flirt with Robin, like, hey, you need a ride to the raid, you know? Like, Frankie, for real, he was on his motorcycle. He may as well have been wearing a leather jacket. Robin was down. She was gonna hop on board for the ride, and Brook was already sitting there like, how about a little bromance? Yo ho ho. And Frankie was like, no. Like, Frankie, I love that scene. Go back and watch that scene. The way Frankie looks at Brook, he's just like, dude, what, off. Or you see what I'm trying to do. The next funny thing that happens is when Nami is being chased by Big Mom, and Frankie and Brook are riding on their motorcycle still. What's funny though, actually, is that up until this point, like, Frankie and Brook have just been riding on the motorcycle. Frankie and Brook must have literally just been leisurely strolling around Onigashima. Until finally, Brook's like, hey, what's that? Oh my God, is that Big Mom? You sit there, yo. Heartache. And then they run over Big Mom's big ass face. The whole thing is not serious at all, and I love it. But yeah, that's Wano. And let me know in the comments if Brook did anything funny in Egghead, because I drew a blank. But it's also, I really want to talk about Elbaf, because the funniest thing about Elbaf right now, and spoilers if you're not caught up, spoiler, 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 you have plenty of time to leave. Bone Daddy. That's the funniest thing about Elbaf. Full disclosure, I do not think Brook is actually a father, but also, Oda is shameless. Also, found family is a thing. It could just be like basically a father figure to whoever Gunko is. That is hilarious because Bone Daddy. All right, you get it? Think of the sitcom. Please, for God's sake, just think of the sitcom. You were there when Luffy's long-lost brother that we all thought was dead revealed himself to be alive with amnesia. You were also there when Shanks' evil twin brother crashed the family reunion. This summer, get ready for the family secret that no one saw coming. I got the Bone Daddy blues, yeah, I got the Bone Daddy blues. Coming to a theater near you, Soul King Brook is Bone Daddy. Ultimately, the sky is the limit for Brook, and with Bone Daddy, the possibilities are endless, truly. And so my hopes for going into the manga and continuing with Brook's story is obviously that we meet back up with Laboon and Brook gets his emotionally satisfying closure with Laboon, but also I'm pulling for Bone Daddy. If I'm being honest, however that may happen, doesn't have to actually be Brook is the father of anybody. Just I'm pulling for more Bone Daddy like jokes to make. I'm pulling for it. I'm pulling for it hard. That's where I know where we are right now in the story. It's just lore piece. It's lore piece all over the place, and that's awesome. That's good. But I desperately want to know what all that nonsense was with Gunko. I desperately want to know because I know Oda's going to make... Well, here's the first thing Oda's going to do. He's going to give Brook a second backstory, okay? Just like he did with Sanji. And that is going to be sad as hell. It's going to be so sad. You know what would be crazy, though? I'm just rambling now. But what would be so crazy is if Oda found a way to make the panty joke that Brook always tells. If Oda uses Brook's second backstory to make that sad, cinema. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If Oda finds a way to make the panties joke sad as hell, hey, Oda's crazy, man. You know he would do it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do if that happens, but honestly, kind of what I'm pulling for. Let me know what you guys want from Brook going forward into the story. A little bit of updates for the channel. We are still playing Kingdom Hearts. It's taking its toll on my soul, baby, but we're getting through it. Dream Drop Distance is actually really good, but we're almost done with that. After that, we're going to do Kingdom Hearts Point 3 with Aqua, and then it's finally Kingdom Hearts 3, baby. So check out the Twitch. Maybe I'll put it on the screen, or it's definitely into the description. Also, there's a Gaming VOD channel. If you missed the streams, feel free to check that out. The link for that is also in the description of this video. So check that out. Apart from that, the content for the channel, we have 2 more videos coming up, both on One Piece, but I'm working on the Bleach video. A lot of people are asking for Bleach. Bleach is on the way, but coming up really soon, we got 2 One Piece videos. One is a manga catch-up video, so if you want to hear me talk about the manga in its entirety, stick around for that. Also, I did get my hands on the One Piece, the Great Performance. What is that, like an OVA or whatever? I still haven't watched it yet, but I got my hands on it, and I'm going to watch it, and that will be its own whole video. The one where they do, they perform on the play, and Luffy's in the monkey costume. Looks really funny. I was begging you guys to show me, and you guys came through, and I got my hands on it. So thank you to everybody who reached out and tried to get it. You guys rock. Love you guys, love you guys, love you guys. But that's it. Enough updates for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy your family this holiday season. I hope you're enjoying a Thanksgiving, okay? I hope you're enjoying those cranberries, the stuffing, the turkeys. But yeah, love you guys, love you guys, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being interested, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.